evening, good morning, good afternoon, depending on where you are all over the world, sports lovers. This is the Redeem Sports at the King's Palace Television, and it's the coverage of the round of 16 at the ongoing AFCON 2023, playing in 2024 at the West African nation of Cote d'Ivoire. It's been great, and we are going to be, reviewing the, group stages and then the round of 16. Go nowhere, sit down. It's going to be exciting. Today we have our guests and we have a surprise for you as well. Now, Dimeji, is the round of 16. It's been awesome. It's been full of surprises, shockers as well. 16 in, 8 out.
It's out, yep.
Ghana is out, back home. Algeria is back home. Tunisia is back home. And then we are left with only 16.
The big boys are back home.
Absolutely. How are the mighty falling? Talk to me, Dimeji. What's going on?
Today again, it's a pleasure, always a pleasure just doing this analysis with you. But for me, I would say two things. Let the games begin, and this is the beginning of the end. Mm-hmm. When you get to the round of 16, like you lose one, you're out. And to see the fact, and to know also the fact that the big guns are actually out, at least some of them. I mean, you still have Senegal and Nigeria, but the likes of Cameroon, and I'm not being biased here, but it's been fun. One of our analysts actually that came on set before said that this is the most exciting AFCON that he's seen in a while, and I believe that.
I agree. Well, Tuna Badri is my name. I'm your host. Nothing has changed as far as my name goes.
Dimeji is also my name. That has not changed either.
All right, guys, we're not alone here as usual. You know that. The surprise today is that we have a female analyst. Not just that, she's from the nation of Cameroon. Lilian Akwe, welcome to the studio.
Thank you so much, Jimmy. Thank you for having me. Excited to be here.
Absolutely. You hear me?
Thank you so much.
You are welcome. You are a veteran on this show. Now, I don't envy you at all because I know you are a super fan of the Super Eagles of Nigeria, but you are sitting next to a super fan of the indomitable Lions of Cameroon. Now, I have to be careful because I don't know what's going to happen. Well, Tony Alimaria, welcome as usual. Thank you for being in the studio. Well, Dimeji, I'm sure you know this is going to be fun tonight.
You said something real nice. I don't think both of them should sit next to each other.
Well, we'll manage that. I got it for you.
Yeah.
It'll be fun banter.
All right, viewers, you go nowhere. We're going to take a very short break, and then we'll be right back and dive straight into it. Go nowhere. We're back shortly.
At RCCG, the King's Palace, Katy, Texas, we are committed to bring a positive change to our community and the world at large. We are transforming the nations. We are world changers. In this season, we're equipping our members with powerful technology tools to strengthen engagement and accessibility to the church. Introducing the RCCG, the King's Palace mobile app, powered by ChurchPad. This mobile app addresses the core and expanding needs of our church, with a wide array of unique but connected features. With the mobile app, you get access to an interactive and completely personalized experience. Reserve your seat for in-person service, live streams, videos, and sermons. One-time or reoccurring giving options. View giving history, and download your contribution statements with a single click. Self-check-in, and access to other amazing resources. With this revolutionary app, you can stay connected to RCCG, the King's Palace, participate in live events, give, and more. You can also receive alerts on important updates. The RCCG The King's Palace mobile app is called RCCGTKP. It is available for free download in the Google Play Store and App Store. Download the app today.
Hello, sports lovers. No time to waste. It's Dimeji Oladele and Tunde Badru with our guests, Yemi Ajayi and Tunde Alimeru. And for the first time on a soccer analysis is Lilian Akwe. All right, so we're going to go right into it. Welcome back, Redeem Sports at the King's Palace. We're talking AFCON 2023, played in 2024, and we are in the round of 16. Tunde, you want to kick us off?
Absolutely. Lilian, I have to start with you. And it's going to be on a lighter note. What are you going to do on Saturday? Lilian, you are Cameroonian by birth, Nigerian by marriage. Nigeria plays Cameroon on Saturday. what are you going to do?
That's a fun fact. Yeah, I like that.
I feel like I'm on the hot seat this time. But honestly, thinking about it, when I found out that Cameroon won, I mean, I didn't watch all of the game because, as you know, what happened, right? Then the first thing I asked, who is Cameroon? And my son was, he had come back from school. He was like, Mom, it's Nigeria. Hey, I said, God, why is Cameroon play another team? Why does it have to be Nigeria? But, I had to console myself today to say, it doesn't matter who wins. Uh-huh. Cameroon win, I win. Nigeria win, I win. And now I just feel bad for people who, who are not associated somehow.
But Tunde, maybe you should remind her that a house divided against itself.
Oh my God!
So I wonder what the dynamics in your house. Your children one side, Cameroon one side.
I had a conversation with the husband. I mean, they were both on speaker when I was having this conversation, and Indica said, "Hey, this is the house divided." I see you right there. Oh my God! How can anyone do this to me? This is like a house divided against.
And if I could just chip in, I know we have a lot to cover today. Half of the family, half of you guys are Golden State Warriors fan, and the other half are Lakers fan. So there's something about your family with sports, but
there is some history.
I know. But I told you something that husband is Nigerian.
Yeah.
The best soccer fan in their house, the son is Nigerian. So I said that kind of looks like 2 to 1.
To 1.
Looks like two Nigerians to 1 Cameroon.
You know what he told me? When we were asking, we were asking the children, it's like Nigeria, of course. It's Nigeria, they're the better team, Mom. We started listening. I'm like, okay, calm down. But I'm really
We'll see. Don't worry. Yeah, I have to come to you on this. I mean, Cameroon managed just at the very last. In fact, it was at the injury time of the last match, I think, against the Gambia, that Cameroon could say, "Hey, we made it eventually." I mean, that's very strange. I mean, back in the days, Cameroon is guaranteed at least to get into the
knockout
stage, but it's not so now. What do you think about Cameroon struggling?
I mean, this is to tell us how tough this Nations Cup has been so far, and where the top clubs are not in anymore, and the ones that we actually lifted high, saying that they're going to go far, are actually struggling to get in. But as for Cameroon, I think I never looked at their team and then just considered them really that great, to be honest with you. Because apart from this, Nkambi, Nguisa, who is having a very, very good season so far at Napoli, and Wo, they are mainly based, those are their spine. If they do well, they go as far as Cameroon will go. If these guys play well, they will play well. No, but they've done well, second in the group, second to Senegal. But this is just to tell us that this Nations Cup this year is probably the most competitive that we've seen any Nations Cup in a long time.
You can say that again.
So I can't fault them so much. Second was where I left them, and at least one of my predictions.
Wonderful. Right. Tune in. Listen, I mean, the host got, the biggest of humiliation. I can't remember the last time Cote d'Ivoire lost to any team 4-0 away or home, but right at home, lost 4-0, I think it was, to Equatorial Guinea. And they weren't even sure, until in fact it was the last nation to confirm their qualification. Now, if the host has been out of the tournament, the group stages, I think, that's the way it always seems. Now that they are in, what would the feeling be like in the nation of Ivory Coast?
Well, I imagine, thank you so much, Sunday. I imagine all of them going to church now. Because there's something about this year's AFCON, a lot of players and coaches are just spiritual,
I'm telling you.
playing, praying and doing stuff. But the good part is that the stadiums will not be empty, even though I wanted them to be out, honestly, just so they could learn their lessons. But The stadiums, and you never can tell. They can even get to the finals.
You
Who
never
knows?
know.
Never know.
You never know.
True.
Absolutely. Imagine.
All right, Tunde, I'll continue with you. You know, still talking about the group stages. You have the giants of Africa, like Ghana, Algeria, Tunisia. I mean, these are countries that no one would have expected to have been knocked out or not to be in the round of 16. But alas, they're not in the round of 16. What's good and what's bad in the exits of this giant? What lessons do we have to learn? Do other teams have to learn from the exits of this, you know, African giants?
Okay, my answer to this is simple. I saw somebody's post on Facebook. He's actually someone you know, Debola Jaguna.
I saw it. Yeah.
And he said, no more giants in African soccer. See Cameroon struggling with Gambia to qualify. Nigerians need to stop being deluded. In fact, after watching some games, I said, what is Nigeria doing in the round of 16? And that's me. So looking at those games, I don't even know how Nigeria got to the round of 16. We were probably just very, very lucky. So again, I mentioned this in the last review we had. And I said, football in Africa, oh my God, is not what it used to be. So people don't no longer play against nations. They play against the players on the field. Those days here in Nigeria,
Yep.
But now it's the players. So, and all the players are about same age as experience level and them. In fact, some are even more experienced now. They're so-called underdogs.
Yeah, I mean, it's so sad that how the mighty have fallen, like Tunde said earlier on. Thanks, Tunde. Lillian, by the way, I like your national colors. You're donning your national colors. You know, I'm sure that you're not used to Cameroon struggling to qualify from the group stages. I mean, you had the likes of Roger Mila, Koundé, you know, way back in the days. And I mean, it was almost automatic that you were in the round of 16. But what's the feelings like? What's the feeling like right now when the indomitable Lions seem to be dominated, and the Lions seem caged and almost out of the tournament? Like, it feels like, I don't want to say you guys are struggling, but it feels like you haven't unleashed the lion in your team.
I see you laughing.
Or do I say the lioness?
You haven't unleashed the
I
lion.
wouldn't get to that point yet, but I do agree with you. Just watching the indomitable Lions. I mean, like Tunde mentioned, back in the days, when you hear Nigeria, you hear Cameroon, just the teams that are coming to play them. You know, there's that, you know, how do you call it, that little fear in you.
Yeah.
But it's nothing like that no more. And I believe I was talking to somebody and I just kind of reflecting on the days of even Eto'o.
Yeah,
you know,
Samuel Eto'o.
Bowman in 2002 when we weren't back to back. And I'm asking myself, what is missing? I see, when I watch today, I see that that's missing patriotism. Back in the days, players come to represent their country. They play with oneness, with unity. Nowadays, people are more concerned about their club that they play. I mean, I've seen a lot of comments like today. I read a lot. Trust me, Africans, Cameroonians in particular they can comment more than they can play. But to say I'm not as you know, I'm as dissatisfied with their performance so far. They are lucky, they made it.
Uh-huh.
But I expect more from them. I expect more. I was expecting people like players like Triple Motini to show up, but as you can see, you know, there's I don't want to say conflict, but it looks like there's that level of patriotism is not there. Wanting to, you see, when even the basketball players, when they represent the United States for Olympic, it doesn't matter if it's LeBron James, they go and represent. They forget about the money. They forget about everything. That is what, you know, as a nation, that's what we expect our players to come with. If they come with that, the skill set is there. I don't want to say it's a given, but you see better competition. And that's what is missing nowadays. And I feel really, you know, dissatisfied with that.
Thank you. Yemi Ajayi, you know, although Nigeria has prestigious 7 points in the group stages and tied on points with the group winners, Equatorial Guinea, which is another team that has qualified, yet many fans of the Super Eagles do not think the Super Eagles in the way they played are good enough. They don't think they've really shown the best of play so far. Now, the 1-1 draw with Equatorial Guinea seemed like a loss, and the victory against Guinea-Bissau looked like a defeat of the Super Eagles. Coming from, again, like Tunde said, when you heard the name Super Eagles, that just sent chills down your spine. But it's like the Super Eagles have struggled thus far. What are your thoughts?
We have to look at it probably this a little bit differently. We have to look at the team and then we need to see the makeup of the team. The spine of this team is young. In midfield, we have a bunch of new players playing together that have never played together before. Yeah. We have Yusuf, Owobi, and the other guy I forgot.
Aribo.
Yeah, Aribo. These three, they've not played together before. We're throwing them together for this competition. No matter where you play, those that have played this on the higher level will tell you that you still need time and games just for that synergy to build. No, but away from that, we are defending reasonably well. Let's just be honest. We are defending reasonably well. We've not created a lot of chances, but we've created some very, very good chances in which we are not scoring. Maybe if we scored more, it will alleviate the pressure on the team. But my thing is actually this, that in as much as I was seriously against the 3-5-2 that we played, it's actually working, to be honest with you. There's not much spaces in between the defense and the midfield and the attack.
Well, could it be because we haven't faced the likes of Senegal that has been playing extraordinarily well?
They have been playing extraordinarily well, but we played against a very, very strong team in this, Côte d'Ivoire. Say what you want to say about that team. That team is very, very physical and they're strong. We just had, on that day, we had some guys that just won't lose. That was the only reason why we won that game, because we weren't going to lose that game. No, but away from, in terms of the typical Nigerian style of football, the flair, creativity, crosses from the wings, we've not seen those much. But one person we need to talk about is our striker. How many more chances would he miss? If he scores more goals, it would take the pressure off the midfield. If there's no pressure on the midfield, then maybe we can see us play a little bit better. But we are not as bad, but we are.
But we could be better.
Good. We can be a lot better. Yes.
Thanks, Yemi. Tone.
All right, I guess before we take our next break, Yemi, I think I'll start with you as well. The same question for the three of you. Which team has impressed you the most and why in the group stages?
Which teams or team?
Team. I will go for one.
I know a lot of us here will say Cape Verde. So I won't go for Cape Verde.
Why are you in people's mind? Just tell me.
Because it's Cape Verde. Everybody here is probably going to mention Cape Verde. But I mentioned two teams. South Africa and Mauritania. Please, I have to say this too.
Yeah, tell us why.
South Africa, because most of their players, if not all their players, they're home based. Except for one player that plays in the second division in the Saudi League. A chunk of those players came from Mamelodi Sundowns. But when you watch them play, I think of all the teams in this competition, they play probably the most attractive brand of football. If you watch their philosophy, a lot of Dutch, flair, Brazilian style is in their game. They are not afraid to control the ball. They are not afraid to play. That was the way Nigeria used to play before. Playing through the wings, come in, tap the ball. You are playing with confidence. We are seeing that with South Africa. I'm impressed. There's no big name. And then I'll mention Mauritania. If I mention all their players, you don't know them. Yeah. But they play with grit, they play with style, and they qualified. How did Mauritania qualify to the round of 16? They've never done it before. So, yes.
Okay, very good. I mean, I walk my way this way. Lillian, not Cameroon, not Nigeria. Which team has impressed you the most?
As he was speaking, I mean, Cape Verde, obviously. I mean, shocked me in particular. I went back and I looked at Cape Verde. Never made it to the World Cup. Never. 4 times. This is their 4th time that they are making it to the African Nations Cup. And not just that they won, they beat
Ghana.
Yeah.
Ghana, the almighty Egypt. You know, they tied with Egypt. They made a significant step up. That to me is very impressive.
Yeah.
And Mauritania as well. That's one of the countries like Mauritania. I had to go look again. Like, wait a minute. You know,
Mauritania.
Mauritania. Like, when did they start playing soccer? But again, it's. I'm really impressed with that, and the Angolans too. I would say they have
That's
made
true.
some strides so far.
That's true.
Very good. I'm far internet before I turn to the Nigeria.
Well, so for me, if I see a team doing what Super Eagles used to do those days, I cannot but love that team. Consistency. So for me, it's Senegal.
So Senegal is the only team that has impressed you.
No, you said one.
One.
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
All right.
imagine before you take us out to the next break.
Yeah, but I would like to continue with Tin, and I'll walk my way down here. Which of the matches in the group stages did you enjoy the most, and why? Was it a player? Was it the style of play? Was it the just the craziness of or the tension?
For me, it was,
I know which match. because as soon as that match was over, he called me. It must be Ghana versus. Which game went? Like the one that Ghana
At the last
two games.
yeah, it was 2-2 was, I can't even remember. Ghana and a particular team.
Yeah, I think it was Ghana. What team was it?
No, it was a draw, actually, 2-2.
It was
So,
2-2, but they were leading 2-0.
So for me, actually 2 games. That match, at some point I called Tony, I said, Ghana must be cursed. This must be a curse. 2 goals, you're up by 2 goals. And, you know, at some point they brought out Mohamed Kudus.
Yeah.
He was actually even upset. And that was at the 89th minute. They considered a goal, 90th minute. I said that wasn't enough. And boom, these guys just overran them and it was a draw. But the other game that I really enjoyed was Egypt versus Cape Verde.
Yeah, that was
Yes, that was,
So,
that was a good game.
so Egypt thought they had won at the 93rd minute. It was 2-1. So they were really ready to celebrate. Home, and at the 99th minute, Cape Verde equalized. So for me, those 2 things.
So remember, your Super Eagles used to do that way back in the 90s.
You said my Super Eagles.
The Olympics. All right, real quick, Lillian, which of the games in the group stages did you enjoy the most and why?
I must agree with today on the Egypt versus Cape Verde. Like I said, for me, I'm always the supporter of the underdogs. It always catches my attention. Like, okay, I've not seen this. Who are they?
Yeah.
And just seeing how Egypt is one of those countries. I have to be honest here. They always somehow I don't want to say they put a fear when we play them, but how Cape Verde came and equalized that game is still amazing to just imagine. And of course the Cameroon game, how they made it to the last minute. That is still a miracle. I'm still like, I had given up, like everybody that was watching the game. If you read the comments, how people just literally are giving up. To see how Cameroon made it is still a miracle too.
Thank you, Lillian.
Yemi,
you're one of those that have said this is one of, if not the most interesting AFCON tournament we've seen. Which of the games really impressed you and why?
Equatorial Guinea versus Cote d'Ivoire. Now, this is funny. The last podcast I was here and I said that Cote d'Ivoire, physical team, beat you through the middle.
Yeah.
Physically, silky football, whatever you want. They did that though, for like the first 20 minutes. Throwing away chances and all. Equatorial Guinea now flipped the script. Everything Cote d'Ivoire did to them, they did to Cote d'Ivoire. But they capitalized on their chances. Everything you wanted African football to be, if you've been watching us, we are direct, we are physical, we take our chances, we use a lot of wing play, we cut through the middle. Everything we saw in Equatorial Guinea. Equatorial Guinea, to me, was the best team in that group by a country mile. That match was very impressive because they systematically took the soul out of Cote d'Ivoire. And after that, riot happened in Cote d'Ivoire.
All right, so this is again AFCON 2023 being played in 2024. Please don't go anywhere. We're going to come back and we're going to talk tactics. But before we come back, I'm going to talk to a very diehard fan, an Angolan fan. She's actually Angolan. So I'm going to go talk to her real quick and get the perspective of an Angolan. They play Namibia before the Super Eagles and the Cameroonians play. So I'm going to take you to me talking to one of our guests. I'll cover that. I won't mention her name, but I'm going to go talk to her and we'll be right back. So don't go anywhere and enjoy this short break.
Come on, join me, brother.
What's going on? What's going on here?
What do you mean, what's going on?
All right,
you know it? You know what that means?
I don't know what that means.
We are winning. We've been winning.
Yes, they are winning. They've been winning. This is the Fans Corner at AFCON 2023, played in 2024. I'm Dimeji Oladele, and with me is the wonderful
Celeste Poati.
Miss Celeste Poati. She's an Angolan fan. She's Angolan, actually, and she's very excited. As you can see, she's donning the national colors.
Yes,
very pretty.
Blancas negras. It's soccer, right?
Okay. All right. Celeste, let's look at this real quick. So Angola has qualified for AFCON 8 times, with the first time being in 1996. You've also hosted in 2010. When you hosted, that was the last time you appeared in the knockout stage in a round of 16. And you are back in the knockout stage after over 10 years. What does it feel like?
Brother Mitch, it's more than a decade, for God's sake.
Yes,
more than a decade. And then all of the sudden, we say it in Portuguese, de repente, all of the sudden, Mabululu is out there.
I was gonna ask you, all of a sudden, Mabululu, the guy that scored 1 out of the 2 goals.
Yes, sir.
Tell me about Mabululu. What does that mean?
I mean, the irony of that name is just like, when I was growing up, if my friend told me, I vive in Mabululu, which means I live in the ghetto. So it was just like ghetto, right? It's nowhere to be found, However, Mabululu, somebody who just came from nowhere, and the name itself is just like,
So in other words, Mabululu came, he saved the day, and now it means anybody can become a hero.
Anybody can become Mabululu. Anybody from Mabululu can become a hero.
So you beat Angola you beat Burkina Faso 2-0, and you play Namibia tomorrow.
Yes.
Tell me, Celeste, what's your prediction for tomorrow's game?
Well, Burkina Faso, say it in French. Burkina Faso, right?
Burkina Faso. Burkina Faso.
I think they speak French, so Burkina Faso, the Burkina Faso la. But anyways, Saturday is Namibia. We are winning.
I understand. What's your prediction for tomorrow's game?
It's over. It's done.
Okay.
All right.
1-0, 2-0, 3-1, 2-1. What's your prediction, Celeste? Come on.
Let's say Namibia 1, Angola 3. You like that?
You're too optimistic.
Come on now.
Remember,
you're my brother. Okay.
I am. But unfortunately, I can't tell you what I think in my heart.
Why?
I can whisper to you right after now, but I can't tell you what I'm predicting for Angola versus Namibia. But I'm really excited, super excited for your team.
Yes.
Your country is all pumped. Your players are all pumped. I celebrate you guys. Real quick, looking at the thousands and millions of fans watching you right now, what do you have to say to the players and your football federation, and especially the fans and the country of Angola? What do you have to say to them?
Well, to the fans and the team itself.
In Portuguese, maybe?
Em português, os Palancas Negras, nós estamos orgulhosos de vocês pelo trabalho. É só trabalhar, right? So, então, estamos orgulhosos pelo trabalho que vocês estão a fazer. Não foi fácil. Do nada, vocês saíram e prontos. Então, fizeram parte, a fazer parte dos oitavos. Então, é muito isso para Angola. Sabem que há mais de uma década a gente não aparece. Então, aparecemos dessa vez.
I truly hope you weren't talking about me. Now, can you say that in English?
Okay, what I was saying that we are so proud of you, from nowhere, right? It just showed up, and then you showed up big, and you made it to the round of 16s right now. And we are so proud of you. Os palancas negras, é só trabalhar, meus putos, meus dengues. Yeah?
Great job, Tim. Hey, before I let you go,
Yes, sir.
word is out on the street that even if you don't make it past the round of 16, you guys are fine. Is that true?
We are good. We are good. Like I said before, right? It's been like, more than a decade. And for helping us go all the way to the round of 16, just bring that speaker, all right? The speaker that you've been taking around.
Yeah, all right, this is one exciting fan here. Celeste Puati, we celebrate you. We wish and we hope that your Angolan team will beat Namibia tomorrow. Before we go, let's do the Tamangaraye, or what do you say?
Tamagayare.
All right, I will take you back to the studio.
right.
Over to you guys in the studio.
Thank you so much for having me, Brother Meji.
You're welcome back, viewers. I'm sure you must have been seriously entertained talking to Celeste Puati. How does that make you feel?
She's a handful. She's a handful. And everybody here knows that. But she's a diehard fan. And I think one thing that really impressed me is the fact that she knows a little bit about soccer, or football, like some people call it. And like what she said, even if Angola does not qualify, does not make it till the end, if they get knocked out tomorrow, the country is pleased with their boys. That's what she said.
Amazing.
Awesome. Shout out to them.
Amazing. Well, I mean, she was sending me clips of matches.
She was making clips. I was like, that's awesome.
Yeah, Celeste has some energy.
Oh, she does. She does. I almost couldn't match up with her energy, but
Absolutely. Anyhow, viewers, you're welcome back. And now we're going to be talking tactics. We're going to be looking at the matches in the round, of 16. There'll be 8 matches. And we are going to start, again, discussing the match on Saturday. There are 2 matches on Saturday. The first one is Namibia, playing against, I think that was
Angola.
That will be Angola.
Yeah.
Angola is playing Namibia at 11 a.m. Central Standard Time, and Nigeria plays Cameroon 2 p.m. Central Standard Time. Now, to the Cameroon, how do you feel seeing the pairing? I mean, Nigeria, Cameroon, Angola, Namibia. What's going on in your mind when you saw the pairing?
I think at this stage the games are actually going to be very, very tough. And I have a lot of Angolan friends, so I just pray that Angola at this point win their game. Then Nigeria, Cameroon, that's a big one. Now, head to head since 1960, they played 25 games. Nigeria won 12. They drew 8. Nigeria lost 5. It's going to be a tough game. And Yemi won't like this, but I think I want Cameroon to win. Growing up, I've been a diehard fan of Rigobert Song and Carlos Puyol of Barcelona. Those are my... And the fact that a former captain, a former player...
smiling, she's got a...
former captain, former player, now a coach.
Yeah.
Oh.
Okay.
Be careful what you wish for.
The Nigerians are watching you.
We do stand a better chance if Onana keeps.
Right. As soon as Onana shows up, everybody will be like, but yes.
Anyway, now talking about Cameroon and Nigeria, seriously, without any attempt to retaliate on today's comment, looking at it very closely, very critically, and looking at current form, who will you say will have a bit of an edge over one another, Cameroon, Nigerians?
The funny thing is, he said what I was about to say, but I do want to say it. Now, listen, I'm going to throw you a stat that nobody has paid attention to. We've not beaten Cameroon in CAF competition since 2017. Cameroon has been, listen, our bogey team. Every time we face this team, when is the D time for us to show up?
No, actually, we beat them in 2019.
Did we beat them in 2019?
Round of 16 was 3-2.
Round of 16? Okay.
It was 3-2. I can't forget.
I might be wrong. I might be wrong.
It
but
was
like
3-2. We beat them 3-2 in 2019.
2019, which is, oh yeah, yes, that's true. I actually forgot.
In the round of 16 or in the second round.
But every time we face Cameroon, it is not, it's more like a derby. Whenever I watch football, you see Liverpool and listen, Everton.
Yeah.
When those games go on, your form goes to the trash. Everything goes to the trash. Now this is more of pride. And every time we play Cameroon, for a very funny reason, Cameroon has always had an edge over us, and I don't know why. We have better players than them. We've always had better players than Cameroon. But something will happen, and they will beat us. And I've watched our games. Whenever we play them, there's nothing like form. There's nothing like you are the highest goal scorer. So listen, psychologically, I think there's a switch. There's a switch that they switch on whenever they play Nigeria. It's different from when Cameroon plays Ghana. It's different from whenever they play Nigeria. I don't know why. We just don't play well and we don't win.
Well,
so I am hoping that this one will be different.
Okay, well, I mean, I hear you. You know,
But is it?
you know.
If Onana keeps, we start the chance.
Y'all better leave Onana alone. Just leave him alone.
Let me just chime in on what Yemi just said.
Yes.
He is absolutely right. There is this, I don't want to call it a rivalry, but you know how you have siblings who they love each other so much, but there's some competition that they always, like when they are going and they want, somebody wants to win. It's just that that's what I see between Nigeria and Cameroon, and why? I don't understand. I'm again, it's exciting to see, and you know, it's competition, round of 16, and the truth about it is Nigeria in this competition they're the better team, I must admit, and I look forward to just the Cameroon. There's just that urge, like you said. I don't know, I can't see this time around. But
Let us leave the competition in Ivory Coast and talk about the one in your home.
Oh my God.
Because when that match kicks off, are you going to watch at home? Where are you going to watch it?
you know,
Who's going to be in the bedroom? Who's going to be in the living room?
I must say this. Not only I'm married to Nigeria, my younger sister is married to Nigeria.
Oh, okay.
And, you know, funny enough, they live 10 minutes or more. So we met
Oh
them
my
at the house. Our husband is
Dimitri, I think we should go to their house.
They're free now. But in all, you know, fairness, I'm going to enjoy, have a good time.
It'll be fun.
And
I think, sorry, leader, someone said Nigerians take ripe plantain and Cameroonians take unripe plantain.
interesting comment. I'm quick.
It will be fun, but I think Nigeria has been taking a pound of flesh from Cameroon. Though. I mean, you remember they beat Cameroon in Nigeria. I think it was World Cup qualification 4-0.
The friend, yeah.
4-0, and then 2019 it was 3-2. In recent times, I think Nigeria is taking it. What do we see how it plays? I mean, I can't wait for Saturday. It's going to be.
No, I think both countries are going to come out and want to play the best, especially given the fact that they've had this rivalry for a little while.
Yeah.
So everybody's going to come to the table, bring their best, and let the best team win. That's what I'm going to have to say.
It would be great. It would be great to watch. I hope they won't take us to 120 minutes because, I mean, it's not like group stages when, there's no draw. You just have to produce a winner.
And I don't want this to end up in penalty shootouts. That's not good football. That's. I mean, some people argue that it is because then the level of defense is great, but then I don't think that's good football.
Anyway.
All right, I'll take it to you, Yemi. You spoke so much about the Super Eagles tactical formation in the opening episode of our show, and we've gone back and forth with different formations. Should we stay with the same formation? I think the last episode I was talking about, one of the questions I asked Tunde was about, in life situations, do you use the same strategy to win and things like that? Now, what do you think of the coach's tactical approach in the group stages, and what should he do differently, if at all, in the match against Cameroon and going forward? Knock on wood, Nigeria beats Cameroon.
Okay, so basically,
I'm not supporting Nigeria here, on the show, but
So basically, the coach has set us up not to lose. Compact. Close up every space. Try to attack as a team, but leave enough numbers with some athleticism in defense. We have workman-like midfield, so people that run around, put in the tackles and everything. That has worked so far, because we've not really had a team that has really stretched us and doesn't push us back. The closest was actually Equatorial Guinea. One thing that we didn't do well is track late runs into the box. We've not done that well. And we do allow some wing play sometimes if they fly the ball behind our wing backs. Before you track back, they drag this and pass it to the left and all these things. So hopefully against Cameroon, I mean, what I want us to do is actually, if we can tighten up a little bit more. Do not give spaces in the midfield because it will be a physical match.
So don't play from the wings.
No. Play from the wings, but move as a unit to the left and to the right. But press. I won't advise us to press high because if we press high, we'll be done with pace at the back. So close it up some more. Use the wings quicker. We just need to convert chances because we will create chances. If we allow Cameroon's wing backs to get into the game and drive us back, we will lose. Because most of their goals are coming from the wings, from the left, most especially. If we can block that supply and push them back, the only way we can push them back is we just need to attack those wings. If we attack those wings, cross that ball, and our striker scores, that same guy, that is called world class. If he converts some of his chances, we stand a chance. Tighten up.
Yep.
Attack as a team, defend as a team. Don't leave spaces. You must make sure there is communication from goalkeeper to the striker.
Let's hope the players and Jose Pusero is actually listening to you right now. Tunde Alimaro, Emilio Nuse of Equatorial Guinea has scored 5 goals in 3 matches, and your beloved Victor Osimhen of Napoli has just scored 1 goal, and the other Nigerian strikers are so highly rated, but they're yet to score any goals. Are the Nigerian strikers overrated, or should we expect to see more goals in the knockout stages? And like we've said, everybody goes to the knockout stage to win, and you can't win without scoring goals.
Okay, so I know that Osimhen has had his issues on this Nations Cup, and there are some lovely chances.
But that's not an excuse.
But the truth is that Messi did so well in Barcelona. The same Messi went to PSG, but struggled. Messi left PSG for Miami. He did so well. The same Messi in the hands of Scaloni won the World Cup. Look, if Messi plays for Nigeria today, I'm sure they will withdraw the Ballon d'Or because of the kind of coach. Because the kind of coach that we have. So, and the truth is that since Osimhen left, came in for Nations Cup, do you see how many games Napoli has lost?
Yeah.
So you must understand how to use this guy because there's a lot of attention, there's a lot of pressure on Osimhen. And I expect him to even experiment some of the other players to play with. Look, Terry Murphy is on the same level as Osimhen. This is a guy who single-handedly destroyed PSG about two months ago or thereabout. So, what is Iheanacho doing on the bench? So I don't know I don't know what the Emis teams are going to do with Cameroon Saturday.
It's now your team. All right, thank you, Tunde. Lilian, let me take it to you. It's always a sad day for Nigerians wherever the Super Eagles is defeated, particularly by your team, the indomitable Lions, the very indomitable Lions of Cameroon. How will it be back in Cameroon if Nigeria should defeat your team tomorrow?
I'm telling you, interestingly, one thing I want to say.
Oh, maybe not even in Cameroon first. How will it be in your house, in your home?
You talk about in Cameroon. In my hometown where I grew up, there are a lot of Nigerians in that hometown.
Really?
It's a lot. And that's because we are, somehow there is like, we are close to like the sea.
Okay.
So there's a lot of trading business.
Where
that
is that
happen.
coming out? What was it?
That is part of, it's in the southwestern part, which is close to Calabar.
Calabar, yeah.
Okay.
So, a lot of Nigerians, so there is this story. There was one time, Nigeria and Cameroon were playing, and I think Nigeria beat Cameroon that particular game. So something happened, and the police system, every Nigerian that did not have illegal, somehow they had to. It was like a retaliation. Now, I'm not saying that's going to happen, but it's always interesting to see how in my hometown where I grew up, how there's this, there's always this. I always use the word sibling kind of rivalry approach, and it's fun. It's fun for me. It's fun, and in my household.
What would happen if the Nigerian team, Yemi's team, win your team?
I'm honestly, like I said,
Yemi will buy you lunch.
Amen.
I'm a winner either way.
Either way.
I'm truly excited.
I like that.
To see, Nigeria is definitely the better team here, and I will definitely root for whoever wins. I mean, how bad I feel that way.
Makes sense.
Send it over to you.
Better team, Yemi's team.
My team. My team.
I mean, you
Yes, sir.
you spoke so highly of Cote d'Ivoire, and rightfully so. I mean, and the maiden edition of this show as soon as AFCON started. Now they've managed squeezing, to get to the round of 16. Unfortunately, they're going to be playing perhaps the best team so far in this tournament, Senegal. Is that bye-bye to the tournament for the host?
My head says Senegal should beat them well. But going based on what we've seen so far in this competition, Cote d'Ivoire stands a very, very good chance. And the reason why I say that is because they just sacked their coach.
Yes.
They're about to get an interim coach. Their coach is Francis football team. No, but one thing that we need to look at is sometimes when you are down, the only place you can go is up. I don't think they felt that they would have any chance of playing in this round. But now that there's a chance for them to play this round, will this be that rally cry that they need to bond everybody together? The problem here is they are going to face a team that is already so tightly bound. It's ridiculous. Of all the teams in this competition, Senegal is the most tightly bonded team. They go to malls together. They eat together. Away from football, they are friends and family together. So they spend a lot of time with each other away from the game. So now when you bring that onto the field, it's something totally different. We have to give kudos to their coach, because a lot of us thought that this is a papagay. Ghana will start. But what this guy is doing now is he's bringing in the younger boys, the guys from the under 20s, into the midfield. The two that started in their first game scored both goals. They have joined the team, and they are it's like they've been playing for this team for a while. There's that continuity and that continuity of tactics.
That's it.
That now you can see in the Senegal team. So yes, if I'm picking, Senegal should win, but with this Nations Cup, anything
Never
can
know.
happen. Yes.
Thank you, Yemi. Yeah, actually, Equatorial Guinea and Cape Verde have been two nations, two teams that have impressed even their enemies. Which of the two, or do you think the two of them could go all the way, say to semi-final or the finals? Or
To be
just
honest,
flash in the pan?
to be honest, I love both teams, and it's because they have a few things in common. So Bubista, the coach of Cape Verde, reminds me of Stephen Keshi. He's played 14 years and he was a captain. Now the coach. John Mitchell, former player of Equatorial Guinea, now the coach. See, today at the end of this Nations Cup, one thing we must do is to rate the performance of foreign coaches
Versus
I agree.
homegrown.
the home-based coaches.
Yeah.
So back to your question, for me, any of them. Three teams I have in mind: Senegal, Cape Verde, Equatorial Guinea. Any of them is fine with me.
Right now. Well, before I turn into the media, Lillian, we've seen, I think, a couple of female referees. For some people, that's great. And increasingly, I think FIFA and CAF tournaments are beginning to have, more female referees officiating, in male events and male games. But some people frown at that. What do you think?
I mean, there's a saying that goes, what a man can do. I know, soccer or sports, it's a physical game, but when I see women, just thriving in sports, this is not new in the diaspora, especially in the United States. And maybe you can relate to it. In the NBA, we have head coaches like Becky Hammond.
Yeah.
A lot of them officiating games. I think in Africa, we need to have that culture shift. I mean, the generation that's coming, we're going to see a lot of that. And we need to get out of the mindset that women can, there shouldn't be any barrier. And when I see that, it opens the door for more women, for the younger ones to say there is hope. There is, I can do this. And I'm just excited. I'm excited, and the ceiling is just higher for women.
Absolutely. But by the way, it was a female referee for, I think, Nigeria, Guinea-Bissau.
Yes.
And today, I was looking at it, there are actually 6 of them. 6 so far from 2014 up until now. It's been 6 officiating women that are officiating.
Amazing.
Oh, that's
Amazing.
good. That's good.
Yeah.
Tunde Lemero, what's the officiating been like in the group stages for you, and especially the VAR calls? Sometimes people say you don't play against the player, you play against the coach, because the coach can actually make or mar your team. Calls using VARs or choosing not to use VARs. What has your impression been about the officiating and the use of VAR? Because we've seen a lot. The referees have had to go back to the VARs a lot in this competition.
Well, I think it's been really very nice, I must say. It's been very nice. I've not seen anything that should call for. And going back to what Lillian said, my best referee so far is that female Nigeria versus Equatorial Guinea. Even when Osimhen and Kuba shouting, no, go check the VAR.
Nope.
It was obvious that she knew. No, she was just so bold. She's been my best.
Was she as bold as a lion?
as agile as a superhero.
There you go. All right. Yep. Thanks.
Can I say something about
go ahead.
the refereeing? So I have to say, the refereeing in this competition so far has been the best in about years. The refereeing so far right now in this competition is better than Spanish League and it is EPL, because most of the calls, they are actually getting it spot on. No drama, nothing. So yes, we have to give this a kudos to all the referees and the linesmen and the VAR people for doing a really, really great job.
Awesome.
They've been doing it.
I mean, Yemi, to add to that, refereeing is one thing, but also the weather plays into the picture. I mean, the humidity have been a tough one for the players, and you can see a lot of water breaks from time to time. And almost every game there's been water breaks. Does that take away from the tournament, from the competitive nature of the tournament, from the entertainment that we've seen or we're supposed to see? And should that be taken into consideration in hosting rights to go to a very cooler climate as opposed to where the humidity is crazy? But, we had the World Cup in Qatar, right? And so what are your perspectives? What is your perspective from that point?
You mentioned a good point. Qatar was hot. There were water breaks there. No, but that was probably the best World Cup, bar none, for a very long time. You can't question that. Competition, everything was up to par. And those that actually went said that was probably one of the best in terms of hospitality and everything, moving around. What other months would you have preferred this CAF Cup? Keep calling it CAF Cup.
Yeah.
What other month? This is January. Normally, like January is supposed to be a little bit cool in most of these places. So really, I don't see any reason for me to make a big fuss about the weather because they are all Africans. In most of these places, it's dry season
Yeah.
or wet season, and maybe a little bit of humidity on the side. So like, I mean, like, just could it be better? Maybe yes, maybe a covered stadium. But how many countries in Africa can afford?
Yeah, they
covered
can.
Stadium.
They can, yeah.
So yes,
They can. We just choose not
Then
to.
the major, I also think the water breaks is actually a response to something. I remember in the last Nations Cup, a referee ended the match before 90 minutes and said,
yeah. 85th minute. They call it heat exhaustion. Affected this.
The water breaks is a good thing. It gives opportunity for players, for coaches to
some pep talks.
All right, Lillian, this is, for me, I've waited for this moment to just ask you. I know we've talked about it some way, shape, or form. What's the mood like ahead of the Nigeria-Cameroon match? What's the setting like? Do you have one side of the house with a Nigerian flag or another side of the house with a Cameroonian flag? What's going to happen tomorrow when you have your family devotion? Who do you pray for during devotion? What's the mood like?
Imagine that's really a tough one when during family devotion. To be honest, I haven't really given a serious thought to it, but knowing, being a Cameroonian, soccer, football, as we are called, it's a very prideful thing for us, and I personally look forward to Cameroon winning. You mean, I'm sorry, but again,
Your husband is watching.
in our home, I'm just excited to see what the dynamics will be for, especially my son. He's a diehard Nigerian fan, and so we'll see how that goes. I'm pretty much gonna, the mother is supposed to, at the end of the day, make sure the house
Everybody's happy.
I like that.
So I have to play my role, but I'm again excited and looking forward to a very, very, impactful game, and it's gonna be fun.
And Tunde, before I hand it over to you, I remember you on an NBA analysis. You talked about your husband and you.
They were the two in the studio.
They were the two in the studio, and they have opposing teams. One's a Golden State Warrior fan. One's a Laker fan.
tough.
What's going to happen if Nigeria? Who's going to cook dinner for who? Because I know he's a good cook as well.
Yeah,
Hey, guess what? Station doesn't have any sports team, so don't get Anastasia to help us make spaghetti.
Don't bring her into this. She's only one. It's only 1 year and a few months. So.
Anastasia is
Anastasia,
Oh, okay, yeah.
Oh, but it's interesting. She's very neutral in the house, so usually when things like that happen, Stasia just
Calms everyone.
Calms everybody down.
Okay, that's good.
I think it's better to just order McDonald's ahead of.
Or probably just have a jersey of half Cameroon, half.
That'd be nice. That'd be nice.
So if anyone will, you flip the jersey, one on the back, one on the front.
All right, as we begin to bring the show to a close, I mean, we get to that point where we put you guys on the spot, asking you to make your prediction. And since you are right,
Sorry, Tony, do you mean decree or?
well, somebody decree came to pass, but I don't want to decree to them because the way it's been going on, I don't want any of those decrees. But somebody decreed that Nigeria must be called to and the decree came to pass. But the way it has been moving, I don't think anyone wants him to decree.
Just thinking about this, I mean, there is this thing about Cameroon at very last minute, where just when we just want to make that decree or give up, then they show up. So I think this game, I have a feeling it's going to go to penalty. And I just hope Banana is not because if Banana is there, then I might as well just go to sleep. But in all sincerity, Nigeria is a better team. I'm really holding my decree here. I would but I'm an indubitable Lion fan. So I see Cameroon
Winning on penalties.
winning on penalties here.
Okay, before you go, Namibia, Angola.
Angola. I'm rooting for my Angolans brethren, and I see them winning. They are a better team in this.
Would that be 2-0, 1-0 penalties?
No, I think it's 1-0.
1-0 Angola.
1-0 Angola.
Okay, let me be done on my right. Yeah,
Angola, Namibia 2-0 to Angola. Angola will win. Nigeria, Cameroon. If Onana keeps, we'll win 2-1. But I'm 2-1 Nigeria.
2-1 either way.
Yeah, 2-1 Nigeria wins.
So Angola and Namibia 2-1.
The prophet.
Angola 2, Namibia 1. Cameroon, Nigeria, whoever scores first.
But that is not a prediction.
Okay, whoever scores first.
No,
by what margin?
I'm going to take that.
Mr. Moderator, we have to hold him to a prediction. No, you have to make a prediction.
You got
Not
to give
whoever
us
scores first.
exactly.
Give us a prediction.
You know the last time I told you, it wasn't released to me.
It wasn't released. I thought you are supposed to write the vision and make it plain.
All right, it's been fun. AFCON 2023 played in 2024, like we always say on the show. Today, again, you're a life coach, a friend to many, a father to many, a teacher of God's word, and a sports enthusiast. In your opinion, as we wrap up this show, again, you can, as you always do, give life experiences. How do people stay calm, or how should we stay calm in the midst of chaos? At this point, AFCON is not what it used to be anymore. Now they're underdogs. Folks are going out. Coaches have been fired. Folks, I could imagine a team like Ghana going back to grassroots and changing a lot of things. How do you stay calm in the midst of chaos? And you, like one of those Nigerian comedians say, place your focus.
Yeah, I mean, very good question, Imagine. And seriously, I think we all need to be very, very careful when things aren't going, our way. Because if you rush into decisions, then you can live to regret it. I remember in 2013, the last time Nigeria won, hopefully they can win again. They already bought the ticket.
Yeah, we win every 10 years, so.
They already bought the ticket. I'm sure you remember. You guys remember. They bought the ticket for the team to go back because they didn't do so well in the group stages. In fact, it was the last game that they then, qualified, beat, I think it was Ethiopia 2-0, and the 2 goals of penalty. And they said, now you're going to play Cote d'Ivoire with Didier Drogba and Salomon Kalou and all of the big names. No, you guys, go your way home. But Nigeria beat Cote d'Ivoire, moved on, and won a cup. And the coach, late Keshi, said, I'm done. This is your trophy.
Yep,
but
that's it.
Now, people in regret and say, sorry, we shouldn't have done that, and so on and so forth. Now, back to your question. In crisis, I've always said it. If you don't have Christ in crisis, your crisis multiply. So there will always be crisis. It doesn't matter who you are. But when it gets to a point that things aren't going the way you're going, don't rush into decision. Calm down. Bring Christ into crisis. And then it gives you direction. In any case, it's when you calm down that you're able to then get direction. Now, unfortunately, I think the natural tendency when things aren't working our way is to go our way. Now, if you go your way, then you will always come back regretting. So, I have never seen Christ fail in crisis. He's the master of crisis. And for as many as don't have Christ, I will recommend to you, before the day of a crisis, make sure you have Christ. Because when you have him before crisis, then you can be sure of victory.
And I really appreciate that, Tuna. You're going to please permit me to go personal here. You, as a clergy, like I said, like you've just been there for a lot of people, spent a lot of years without having a child of your own. 23?
9 months.
That's some, 9 months. See, that's some crisis. That's some mental crisis to deal with. And it's amazing how you navigated through those tough times. Like they say, tough times never last, but tough people do. Robert Schiller. Can you tell us what that experience was like?
Imagine to be I think one of my senior pastors put it right. He visited once, from Nigeria. It was a senior pastor to me. It was my area pastor when I was parish pastor. And said, hey, Tony, Shari, I will need to see the two of you in my hotel room. I thought, what did he see? Did he do something? Something wrong. We got to his hotel room. I said, look, I see you guys, the way you laugh, the way you play, as if you are not carrying any weight, waiting for these 23 years. You are carrying a weight, but let me warn you. You are not feeling the weight because you are under the grace. That make sure you don't go off the grace. Otherwise, the entire weight will come on you. Then you will know there is no fun waiting for 23 years. I don't believe it's anything, that we can claim any credit on except the fact that we stay under the grace. So when he said that, I said, you are right, sir. We are not feeling the weight because God has provided the grace to carry it. I said, so stay there. If you go off that grace and the whole weight comes on you, then you will know that it's no fun trying to have one child in 23 years. So back to what I said before, whatever the challenge may be that you're going through, you can't carry that load. You need someone to carry the load. When you do, people will wonder, is this fellow normal? But people will come to my office, like you said, and they'll be crying. You've not heard my story before. They say, wait, that you could pray for us and all of that.
You were dedicating babies left, right, and center.
And then I will say, okay, it's okay, I understand. I say, Pastor, you don't understand. You don't understand for 5 years. So I said, okay, but I've been married 15 years, and then 20 years, and then 22 years. The fellow said, I said, yes, but Jesus is still the Lord over everything. He said, so how have you been going through that? Tell them, calm down. God is not about to deny you. He has all the power to do anything and give us anything we need.
Amen.
Stay with him. If you stay with him, he will sort you out. So to your question, yes, it was enough. It wasn't even fun. Once in a while, when we sit down and talk about it, now, how did we even? My son says, how did we even? This 23 years went like as if it was there, but we stayed under the grace of God. And when you take grace away, what is left is disgrace. So it's important to stay under the grace so we don't end up in disgrace.
Thank you very much, Tunde. A word that they say is enough for the wise. Yemi, thank you very much. Lillian, thank you. Tunde, thank you very much. To all our fans worldwide, thank you very much for watching the Redeemed Sports at the King's Palace. Do not forget to subscribe on whatever social media platform you're watching right now. Make sure you share, make sure you like. We're bringing you analysis of AFCON 2023 played in 2024. It's been fun. Some families are pure Nigerians, some families are pure Cameroonians, but one particular family here is Nigerian, American, and Cameroonian. Let's see how it pans out, Lillian. Let's see how it pans out. Thank you.
You had the VIP on the show. Thank you for coming. Thank you guys for coming.
Thank you all for coming.
Thank you.
Wow. I'll be coming our way soon again.
Thank you.
Keep winning.
Super Eagles.